Welcome to the U.S. History Facts quiz. You will get 30 multiple-choice questions. Try to answer before the timer ends. Then we reveal the correct answer with a quick explanation. Let's begin. Question 1. On what date did the Continental Congress adopt the Declaration of Independence? A. July 4, 1776. B. July 14, 1789. C. April 30, 1789. D. December 15, 1791. The correct answer is A. July 4, 1776. That is the date the Declaration was adopted by the Continental Congress, which is why Independence Day is celebrated on July 4th. Question 2. When was the U.S. Constitution signed at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia? September 17, 1787. B. July 4, 1776. C. June 18, 1812. D. August 18, 1920. The correct answer is A. September 17, 1787. The Constitution was signed in Philadelphia and later ratified by the states, becoming the foundation of the U.S. government. Question 3. When were the first 10 amendments, known as the Bill of Rights, ratified? A. December 15, 1791. B. September 17, 1787. C. July 2, 1964. D. May 17, 1954. The correct answer is A. December 15, 1791. The Bill of Rights became law when 10 amendments were ratified, protecting key freedoms like speech, religion, and due process. Question 4. Who was the first president of the United States? A. Thomas Jefferson. B. George Washington. C. Abraham Lincoln. D. James Madison. The correct answer is B. George Washington. He became the first U.S. president and was sworn in during the first presidential inauguration in 1789. Question 5. In 1803, the United States made the Louisiana Purchase. From which country did the U.S. buy the territory? A. Spain. B. France. C. Britain. D. Mexico. The correct answer is B. France. In 1803, the U.S. purchased the Louisiana Territory from France, dramatically expanding the nation's size. Question 6. Which U.S. president signed the declaration that began the War of 1812? A. James Madison. B. George Washington. C. Andrew Jackson. D. John Adams. The correct answer is A. James Madison. The War of 1812 began after a declaration of war against Great Britain was authorized by Congress and signed into law by President Madison. Question 7. The Monroe Doctrine was first articulated in which year? A. 1776. B. 1787. C. 1823. D. 1863. The correct answer is C. 1823. President James Monroe presented the Monroe Doctrine in 1823, warning European powers against further colonization or interference in the Americas. Question 8. When did President Abraham Lincoln issue the Emancipation Proclamation? A. January 1, 1863. B. April 9, 1865. C. July 4, 1776. D. May 17, 1954. The correct answer is A. January 1, 1863. Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, declaring freedom for enslaved people in states in rebellion against the Union. Question 9. On what date did Lincoln deliver the Gettysburg Address? A. November 19, 1863. B. January 1, 1863. C. June 18, 1812. D. July 2, 1964. The correct answer is A. November 19, 1863. Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address at the dedication of a cemetery after the Battle of Gettysburg, redefining the purpose of the Civil War in powerful, memorable language. Question 10. Which amendment abolished slavery in the United States? 13th Amendment. B. 14th Amendment. C. 15th Amendment. D. 19th Amendment. The correct answer is A. The 13th Amendment. It formally abolished slavery in the United States, marking a major constitutional change after the Civil War. Question 11. The U.S. bought Alaska from which country in 1867? A. France. B. Russia. C. Spain. D. Canada. The correct answer is B. Russia. The Alaska Purchase in 1867 transferred Alaska from Russia to the United States, later proving valuable for resources and strategy. Question 12. Which was the first national park in the United States? Yosemite. B. Yellowstone. C. Grand Canyon. D. Great Smoky Mountains. The correct answer is B. Yellowstone. Yellowstone became the first U.S. national park in 1872, often considered the first national park in the world. Question 13. What event is known as the Boston Tea Party? A 1773 protest where colonists dumped tea into Boston Harbor. B. The signing of the Constitution. C. The first presidential inauguration. D. The end of the Civil War. The correct answer is A. In 1773, colonists protested British taxes by dumping tea into Boston Harbor, a key moment leading toward the American Revolution. Question 14. At which battle did the British surrender, effectively ending major fighting in the American Revolution? Lexington and Concord. B. Saratoga. C. Yorktown. D. Bunker Hill. The correct answer is C, Yorktown. The British surrender at Yorktown in 1781 was a decisive moment that led to the end of major fighting in the Revolutionary War. Question 15. What was the name of the first U.S. governing document before the Constitution? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Articles of Confederation. C. The Monroe Doctrine. D. The Federalist Papers. The correct answer is B. The Articles of Confederation. They created a weak central government, which led many leaders to push for a stronger system and write the Constitution. Question 16. The Dred Scott decision is most associated with which issue? A. Women's suffrage. B. Slavery and citizenship. C. Antitrust laws. D. Freedom of the press. The correct answer is B. Slavery and citizenship. The Dred Scott decision ruled that black people of African descent could not be citizens, and it intensified tensions leading toward the Civil War. Question 17. The Statue of Liberty was a gift to the United States from which country? A. Germany. B. France. C. Italy. D. Spain. The correct answer is B. France. France gifted the Statue of Liberty to the United States as a symbol of friendship and shared ideals of liberty. Question 18. In what year was the first transcontinental railroad completed in the United States? 1803. B. 1869. C. 1917. D. 1954. The correct answer is B. 1869. The Transcontinental Railroad connected the eastern and western United States, making travel and trade much faster across the country. Question 19. Which U.S. president is most associated with the New Deal during the Great Depression? A. Theodore Roosevelt. B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. C. Harry Truman. D. Dwight Eisenhower. The correct answer is B. Franklin D. Roosevelt. The New Deal was a series of programs and reforms designed to provide relief, recovery, and reform during the Great Depression. Question 20. In which year did the United States enter World War I? A. 1898. B. 1917. C. 1939. D. 1945. The correct answer is B. 1917. The United States entered World War I in 1917, joining the Allies after years of neutrality. Question 21. The 19th Amendment, ratified in 1920, is best known for doing what? Ending prohibition. B. Granting women the right to vote. C. Creating income tax. D. Establishing term limits. The correct answer is B. Granting women the right to vote. The 19th Amendment prohibited denying the right to vote on the basis of sex, a major milestone for women's suffrage. Question 22. On what date did Japan attack Pearl Harbor? A. December 7, 1941. B. September 1, 1939. C. July 20, 1969. D. May 8, 1945. The correct answer is A. December 7, 1941. The attack on Pearl Harbor brought the United States into World War II, leading Congress to declare war on Japan soon afterward. Question 23. What did the Supreme Court rule in Brown v. Board of Education in 1954? Segregation in public schools is constitutional. B. Segregation in public schools is unconstitutional. C. Prohibition is constitutional. D. The income tax is unconstitutional. The correct answer is B. In 1954, Brown v. Board of Education ruled that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional, overturning the idea that separate could be equal in education. Question 24. Which U.S. law, signed in 1964, outlawed discrimination in public places and employment? A. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. B. The Homestead Act. C. The Sherman Antitrust Act. D. The GI Bill. The correct answer is A. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Signed into law in 1964, it was a landmark law that banned discrimination in key areas of public life and work. Question 25. On what date did Apollo 11 land on the Moon? A. July 20, 1969. B. July 4, 1776. C. December 7, 1941. D. August 18, 1920. The correct answer is A. July 20, 1969. Apollo 11 achieved the first moon landing, a defining moment of the space race and a major milestone in human exploration. Question 26. Which event is most associated with Theodore Roosevelt and the Rough Riders? The Spanish-American War. B. The War of 1812. C. World War I. D. The Civil War. The correct answer is A. The Spanish-American War. The Rough Riders were a volunteer cavalry regiment raised in 1898, and Theodore Roosevelt became famous for his role with them in Cuba. Question 27. Which invention is credited to the Wright brothers in 1903? A. The telephone. B. The first successful powered airplane flight. C. The light bulb. D. The steam engine. The correct answer is B. The first successful powered airplane flight. In 1903, the Wright brothers made the first controlled, sustained flight of a powered aircraft, launching modern aviation. Question 28. What happened on November 9, 1989 that symbolized the end of Cold War division in Europe? A. The Cuban Missile Crisis began. B. The Berlin Wall fell. C. The U.S. entered World War II. D. The Marshall Plan started. The correct answer is B. The Berlin Wall fell. On November 9, 1989, the opening and collapse of the Berlin Wall became a powerful symbol of the Cold War ending and Germany moving toward reunification. Question 29. Which U.S. Supreme Court case established the idea of separate but equal before it was later overturned? A. Brown versus Board of Education. B. Plessy versus Ferguson. C. Marbury versus Madison. D. Roe versus Wade. The correct answer is B. Plessy versus Ferguson. That 1896 case upheld segregation under the separate but equal doctrine, which Brown versus Board later rejected in the context of public schools. Question 30. What is the main purpose of the Monroe Doctrine? To end slavery in the U.S. B. To warn European powers against colonization and interference in the Americas. C. To create the Bill of Rights. D. To establish the Supreme Court. The correct answer is B. The Monroe Doctrine warned European powers not to colonize or interfere in the Western Hemisphere, shaping U.S. foreign policy toward the Americas for generations.